There are so many stocks and shares that are very stable, and this is an information that you have to find out yourself, that you can invest in. You invest in the name of your kids, you invest for your kids, you invest for yourself, you keep that money. There are many, you need financial education. There are many types of stocks that you invest in and you'll be getting returns. The money keeps growing, you keep getting something monthly, or quarterly or periodically, and then you keep that large amount of money there. Now, you see that small percentage that you keep aside. You are going to dissect that one too very well because, again, I said it, assume you don't have that money. Now, I'm talking about a lady that is able-bodied. You have gone to school, you have hands, and you have legs. Hey, you should not be lazy. Because if you are lazy or you're spending your time not wisely, it's going to affect you and it's going to affect your children. Even though you feel you have a lot of money, assume you do not have this money. Now you have to now sit down and invest in yourself. Okay, maybe you've been working while your husband was alive, or you were not working. If you were not working, but you are educated, now how can you upgrade yourself? Do you need to take up some additional certifications that will make you, more able to apply for some jobs? Do you need to invest in yourself? Now it's so funny because you could live in Africa, you can work in America. There are so many things you can do on the internet, and maybe the only thing that you need to do is to invest in yourself and position yourself very well, and then you buy data and you are online. Google is your best friend. YouTube is so amazing. You can do so many things. Do you have skills, or do you want to learn a skill? You can be a fashion designer and spread that skill to so many ways. People know I have a fashion brand, but is that the only thing I do? No. Because if that is the only thing I do, that alone is not sufficient for me to take care of myself and 4 children and live the kind of life that I really so much desire to do. The kind of life that I really so much desire to live. So that is why I'm telling you that if your husband, if you're so fortunate to have a man that has left for you wealth, invest a large chunk of it wisely, then invest in yourself. Remember, I said it in the first episode that mindset is very, very important. Even if you're not working, even if you once been a housewife, you have to tell yourself that God has made me to be a sole parent, a single parent, and I will do this thing beautifully and wonderfully. And you can do it. The moment you tell yourself that you can do it, you actually have started doing it. After investing and keeping a large part of it, so you tell yourself, assuming it's 20 million now, you've saved 10 or 15 million there. You have just that 5 million left. From that little amount, you took a small amount again to maybe write some exams, do some certifications, or learn some skills. You've opened your own YouTube channel. You started making dresses for people. You started tutoring and teaching people how to sew, for example. Or maybe a very good cook. People have been complimenting your cooking skills. Start a channel. Write an ebook. Look for ways. And these things are so numerous online. While not forgetting, you have to give time for your kids. All these things are possible when and if we use our time and our money very well. Who says you cannot start or go back to school at 40 years old? Who says you cannot be living in somewhere very remote in Africa? We've seen a lot of things, like when you go on LinkedIn, you see someone, maybe, he invented something, he put it online, and straight from maybe, let's say, Adamawa, or straight from, somewhere very remote, and, someone somewhere in Australia or America discovers him because he has put this thing out there, and they've decided to sponsor him. You can do too. So it depends on how we use our time, how we use our resources, how we invest in ourselves and help ourselves. You have to help yourself as a single woman. You don't have to, you don't have to wait for a man to do it for you. God has put you in this situation because he knows that you definitely can do this. And this is also for, like, divorced women and, other things like that. Now, another important money that usually comes in, either for women in category A or women in category B, that is widowed women I'm talking about now. So whether your husband passed on, he left you money, you have good in-laws, or maybe he doesn't even leave some money, or he left, or you had in-laws that are not so good, and then they've taken this from you. Those two women in two categories, usually when the husband dies, you have people that come around, make donations for you, give you money and things like that. Please, people won't keep doing this forever. They won't. So your husband might have been a very good person. He might have touched a lot of people's lives. So people will come to your aid. Maybe donate money for you, or some even give you periodically, or some even say, okay, you have 4 kids, I can help you. I'm going to fund 1 or 2 of your kids' education up to this period. You will, by the grace of God, get some of this help, or they even contribute money for you. Please, please, please accept as much help as possible that you can at this time, because you need it. And most of this help are coming as a result of the fact that God has said it, that, he's not going to test you or give you a test and then just leave you like that. He's going to help you with it. So when people come, with helps, embrace it, thank them for it. Your husband too might have done a lot of things for people, and, this is coming back to you now. Embrace it, be grateful, and leverage on it. So maybe you have some of his friends that genuinely want to assist you, maybe in getting a job. Accept it. Someone wants to help you with business. Accept it. Someone wants to help you with taking your way. Accept it, but don't relax on it. So those money they gave you is for what? It's not for eating. It's not for having a nice time. It's not for traveling yet. Again, invest a lot of the money. In fact, what I always tell people is that no matter the amount of money that comes to your hand, let's say you got $100. Assume that the only money you got is $20. If you assume like that, is better for you, and then you immediately invest the remaining, because the person that gave you $100 could as well have given you $20. So you have to invest this money so that it grows for you. And again, another thing I want to tell ladies is that we have to be very careful, especially about doing business. Not all of us are very good at doing business. Even when you had a supportive spouse, you might have done a lot of businesses and then you failed, So you have to be very careful. But, our friends are coming to, let's do this business. When you're not very sure of something, or if it's not very, very certain, you have to be very careful. Some stocks that you buy and you know that, okay, plus or minus, I'm not going to make a loss. Imagine someone investing in Zoom now, or you're investing in shares in Amazon, or you're investing in shares in Facebook or Apple. You know that these are very stable companies. As against your friend telling you, let's start buying clothes and selling, or let's start doing this one. Those ones have a lot of risk. So you have to look for avenues of business ventures or investments that will have the least risk, because you cannot afford to be poor. You have kids to feed and yourself to also take care of. Another thing I want to talk about is looking at your situation and seeing how you can actually help yourself with your present situation. Now, assuming your husband had a home, you guys had a house that you live in, and a very big duplex, you live with your kids, you're living large, you had 3-4 cars before he passed on. You already, a big madam status and all that. You have to wait, especially those of us that husband died while we have young kids. My last born was 3 years old when my husband died. My first was 10. So you see the long journey ahead of me. These kids are going to go through nursery, they're going to go through kindergarten, middle school, high school, university, before you rest. So possibility that you get another man that will be so kind. It's possible, but do you want to dwell on only that? No. So you have to take that proactive step to make sure that these kids don't suffer. So you're looking at 10, 15 years, at least for your firstborn to be independent. You have that long amount of work to do. So imagine you sacrificing yourself, and you are still healthy, Don't forget, I'm talking about someone that is very healthy. People have different circumstances and situations. So I understand this perfectly well, and I know that we are all different. So this may not apply to everybody, but at least I know that you could pick one or two things from it. So now, you have a long way to go. But hey, it's not so long and so unachievable. It is possible. I have ran 5 years in that race now, and it's not by being perfect. It's just by the grace of God. And I want us to do it better, because I've also made a lot of mistakes in the past that I don't want single again women to make. Now, I was talking about having the 5 cars or 4 cars parked. Do you need all that now? Do you need a duplex right now? Downsize. Downsize now. You live in a home that you can actually partition this and rent out a part of it, and this becomes like passive additional income for you. You have 3 cars, your husband had 1, you have 1, and maybe you guys had 1 again for whatever. Why can't you just use 1 or 2 of them for Uber and get someone to do it? Or maybe you sell it off to invest it in something else. Or you think of how those 2 cars can bring additional money for you. And you are living in a duplex. So do you really need this large amount of space for you and just the kids? Remember, this is not a time for you to be welcoming people to your home. Then, you could just let out safely, a part of the house, and that will also grant you additional income. So we are going to be pausing here for today. Thank you for watching. If this has been very, very useful to you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone that really, really needs this information. And please turn on the notification sign so that you will get alerts anytime I'm dropping my next video. We're going to be talking about making money, the second series, the next. Thank you so much.